Okay, Clay, good morning. Week two about to end for spring ball. Maybe give us a little wrap up of how it's gone, and then we'll take some questions.
Yeah, it really has been a productive 2 weeks, being able to get 5 days worth of installation in, and an exciting day today. It's kind of our first test to see where we are. We are going to be in some scrimmage situations today, working open field, working some third down competition, some high and tight red zone, and putting our guys in live situations and see how they react now with 5 days worth of installation in. Going to be a lot of fun, and should be a fast and physical practice that our kids are excited about. The practices have been ultra competitive, which I have enjoyed, and the kids' juices and passion are running right now, which is a lot of fun. So I look forward to today. Beautiful day, Saturday on grass. What a better thing to do and then get to go out there and play the game we love. Just so you know, because I know I'm going to get to ask the question, Drake Jackson, Raylan Goforth, Tuasivi Nomura, Chris Steele, and Jude Wolf were all back since the last time that we talked. They've completed their 2 days of acclimatization with helmets and have looked really well, really good. And you'll see them in full pads today. So looking forward to having them back, and we should see Brew by the first of the week. So just to give you a heads up there. All right. With that, I'll take any questions that you have.
Okay, again, please raise your hand and I'll call on you. We'll start with Antonio.
Clay, I know a lot was made about the two true freshman quarterbacks coming into spring, but do you get the sense that Mo Hassan kind of came in with a chip on his shoulder?
I think Mo did an unbelievable job even from last year when he came in. Here's a guy that came from Vandy, had played in college football games, had competed, and really was looking great last year, to be honest with you. And then he, suffered that compartment syndrome surgery that kind of took him out of the season. But Mo is an experienced quarterback that competes at a high level and is making good decisions right now. To be honest with you, we always talk about decision making, timing, accuracy, but I've really enjoyed his decision making in this camp. He's playing like a veteran, and he throws an extremely accurate ball, and that's what you expect from a guy that's a senior going into his last year, and have been extremely pleased where he is at. And I would say you're correct there, Antonio. I say he did walk into this camp with kind of a chip on his shoulder and a sense of urgency to be a part of to contribute to this team and be a part of this thing.
And what have been your early impressions of Jay Toya?
Say it one more time, Antonio. I lost you there for a second.
What have been your early impressions of Jay Toya?
A mountain of a man. Biggest head I've ever seen. Head like an elephant. I mean, just when he came in originally, I've always thought, just seeing some of the big men in our local area and even on our own team, COVID hit hard for a lot of guys that didn't get to play their senior year, and Jay was one of those guys that came in midterm. But anytime that you're really out of the game for 9 months, it can be detrimental to your physical conditioning. And what I really appreciated about Jay is he understood that there was an area of growth in his conditioning and the shape that he needed to be in. He understood that, and he took 8 weeks to really get in great physical shape. And now, he is a guy that we were hoping that could possibly contribute next year, because his physical and mental maturity just didn't know where he was from a conditioning standpoint, strength standpoint. But now, having watched him practice, I love his competitiveness. I love his coachability and the plays that he's making on the field. I mean, you're talking about a 330-pound man that you have to double team. If you single him, it's a hard day. And so we're very fortunate to have Jay here. It was a great competitive battle in recruiting to get him here. And he has a very bright future at USC.
Okay, Ryan Karchi.
Good morning, Clay.
Morning, buddy.
I know a couple months ago, Mike Jinks talked about just in terms of, changing the run game, that he really wanted to focus on finding a lead back, especially. From your perspective, how important is that maybe in terms of improving the run game to find a guy maybe that you ride a little bit more than you would have last year?
Yeah, we really, if you look at last year, I thought, the UCLA game was a great example of kind of what we're trying to be. You look up and Levi's got 19 carries and he's got, 4 or 5 catches, and you look up, he's got 23, 24 touches. And then you have a second back that comes in that supplies him oxygen when he's tired. That's what we'd like to be. Last year, we ran into the injury bug at the position, and really felt that coming off that, we wanted to provide either even greater depth and provide even more talent to the room. We're already very talented with Steven in there and Levi and Keenan Kristen, Quincy, Jonte, but to now acquire Keontae and Brandon Campbell, now you feel even more secure at the position. So I think what you saw in the UCLA game is what we're trying to be. I think Mike hit it on the head. We'd love to have a guy that can touch the ball anywhere from 22, 25 times a game, and a second guy come in that is able to spell him with 12, 15 touches. And so we're searching for that. It's a highly competitive room. It's a talented room right now, and it's fun to watch them. I'm looking forward to watching them today. And what's really neat about it, they all get along too. They all support each other. They're all rooting for each other, and you've got some talented guys in that room. So makes for obviously talent's going to help the run game, health will help the run game, but I think that added depth is going to help us too, right?
From what you've seen of Brandon and Keontae so far, what do they maybe bring to that group that Levi and Steven and Keenan may not necessarily have had in the past?
I don't know if it's necessarily what they don't have. I will say I'll list their strengths of what I see of them as players. One, I love their patience as runners in between the tackles and how they set up runs. Usually the best runners are patient runners at the line of scrimmage. I think both have patience, and then the next thing must have the great explosiveness when they decide to pull the trigger, and both do. They're hard men to get down. They understand leverage, pad under pad. They understand same foot, same shoulder, exploding their legs on contact. They're just hard to get down. We saw it on a long run that y'all were here for from Brandon. All of a sudden, he's in a pile. Somebody tries to tackle it, he bounces off. Then he's one-on-one with a safety, and he explodes for a touchdown. I saw a 3rd and short situation last week with Keontae where it's him and a linebacker one-on-one at the line of scrimmage, and he powers through the guy for 6 yards. So I do feel like they have a real maturity to their game, a real physicality to their game, and both are explosive athletes. And just like Levi and Steven, the thing in this offense you have to have is natural pass catching ability outside, and both of them do. They're good out in space, making plays, making their catches, making their plays, and then make people miss out in space. So very fortunate to have both kids here. Two talented men.
Mark Culkin.
Good morning, Coach. You said you're 2 weeks in. Are you starting to see this separation along the O-line that you would hope to see at this point right now?
No, we'll take all 15 practices, probably some training camp. Remember that, as always, Mark, when the majority of your kids that you sign are offensive tackles coming out of high school, it's about finding the best 5 and plugging them into the right spots. And so we've been now 2 weeks in, kind of honed in on just these kids in these spots. And now next week, we will actually flop a little bit and move some kids around. You'll actually see a little bit of movement probably today, which Clay did, trying to get Andrew like some reps at center and allowing Justin to move to guard. You're going to see probably some flopping next week of tackles, them from right to left. So, at the end of the day, it's about finding the best five and putting them in the best positions to help our football team. Very similar to last year. You 2 years ago, you have Austin Jackson and Elijah Vera Tucker. Elijah's a left guard that year. Austin's a left tackle. They were best in those positions. And you go to the next year, and Elijah was best at left tackle for us on our team. He was the best one for us at that moment. So that's what we're trying to find right now. And it takes more than just 2 weeks. It's you want to put kids in different positions, see how it relates to them, and then make the best decisions for our team. So we'll take all 15 practices as probably as well as some of training camp in the fall to see who's the best kids in the moment. Because there are several young kids, Mark, I'll be honest with you, that are really developing at a fast pace. And as we know, you go through another 8 weeks of summer program, as well as another fall camp. There's a lot of progression that can be made. And so we want to make sure we've got the best five out there come game one.
And then on the other side of the ball, unfortunately, we lost Max Williams with an injury. And Greg Johnson, I'm not sure where he's at with his rehab.
Yeah.
Who are some of the other candidates you're now going to look at to play that nickel role? Because it's starting to get a little thin back there.
Yeah, one, just gut wrenching for Max. All our souls hurt. You're talking about a pro's pro and an unbelievable teammate. And one of the more mentally tough kids that I've ever been around in my 26 years. He's been through this once. I know that his mental toughness will shine again, and he'll be back out there. But I think it was hard on all of us, especially Max, to see how hard he has worked, how productive he was for our team last year, and then to lose him. With Greg, obviously coming off knee surgery, we will not see him this spring. He is still rehabbing. It is progressing nicely. We do anticipating him being full speed, ready to go for fall camp. Right now, we are looking at two, and it's probably good for us because we're getting to mix and match some guys that have played safety but can go down to nickel, have man-to-man athletic skills in coverage, as well as physicality in the run game off the edge, as well as blitzing capability. And so two kids that we've identified that we're going to look over the next couple of weeks is one is Isaiah Polamau, who brings great athleticism in man coverage. He's always been a tremendous box player for us. If you remember in the Stanford game, how well he was down at the line of scrimmage, as well as his ability to rush off the edge. We also look at Bam, who you'll see out there, Britton Allen, who also brings those same intangibles. So when you think about that position and you think about Max and Greg, the first thing that they brought was coverage skills, then physicality to the flat zone, as well as pass rushing ability. We feel that Zay and Bam bring that for us too. It's going to allow us to, you think about it, we have 4 young safeties right now that are back there also, and it's going to give them more of an opportunity to grow. Isaiah's been within the system. He understands it. And it just helps him grow also and put some tools in his toolbox by being so versatile.
Thank you.
Okay, Adam Grossbard.
Clay, just back to Max real quick. Is there a timeline yet for his recovery?
Unfortunately, it is an ACL injury, which we know is usually a 9 to 12 month process. So that's going to rule him out for this upcoming season. I know he'll be back for the 22 season. I will say he's one of the fastest healers I've ever seen in my life. I remember him having the injury in high school at senior year, and how hard he worked and how fast that he got ready, and the things that he was doing was incredible to me. His fastest timeline I had ever seen as far as a young man, and how hard he worked to be ready for that next season. For us, this is a long-term investment in Max's ability to play and his health. So we won't rush it. We know it's going to be a year's time to be able to get him fully back right.
And with a week now until the spring games, there just any areas you want to see the team make some progress before you have that exhibition?
Yeah, there's really two situations that I'm looking forward to see, and I talked about this. In our opening press conference prior to spring. Today, we're going to be having we're going to put the ball down and have really a third down competition. And really, we want to be able to improve our defensive numbers from last year. With the ability to get off the field, we made so many strides defensively, but one of the areas I know myself and Toya want to grow in is our third down efficiency. So we're going to really concentrate on that today. And then early next week, Tuesday, matter of fact, y'all will be here. The point of emphasis will be our third and short offensively, and working our third and short and goal line packages, as well as 4-minute run packages, which we would like to improve. And so that'll be the point of emphasis early next week, Tuesday and Thursday, going into that Saturday spring showcase. And so those are two areas that I'm looking forward to see.
Ryan Young.
Good morning, Clay.
Good morning.
If you're looking at moving Isaiah maybe the nickel, that must speak to your confidence in the depth at safety. I was going to ask about the competition to fill Talanoa's void, and we've seen Chase Williams mostly with the first team. What have you seen between him and Xavier Alford?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed watching Chase play right now. To be honest with you, he's acting like a veteran, a multi-year kid, which he is. And you can tell what the strength and conditioning program has done for him. His body has changed and his physicality has changed, but also how fast he is playing. He made, I know y'all weren't here Thursday, but he made a very veteran play in the run game on Thursday that really stood out to me and looked as fast and confident as I've seen him since he's been here. So to be able to have a kid that has played in games, that has that confidence, that has that experience, obviously, it helps you a lot sleep at night as a head coach. But the thing that we're really fortunate about is the investment that 4 kids made. When you talk about Anthony Beavers, you talk about Xavier, talk about Kalen Bullock, you talk about Zamarian Gordon. Those kids 3 of them decided to graduate early, be here, learn within the system, get these reps. Xavier being with us, a transfer being with us now. You got 4 kids that are getting 2 training camps prior to being asked to contribute. And that's critical. And now being able to get those reps and the amount of reps they're getting right now is really going to help us, not only as a team, but with our depth, especially. And each one of the kids have made great plays. Kalen made 2 great interceptions in Thursday's practice and really stood out. So it's been neat to watch those young kids play and move around and to learn.
On that note, I was going to ask you, what are the kind of the differentiating skills and strengths of those new guys at safety?
If I was to go through each one of them, I really think Kalen is extremely rangy, has great ball skills. Obviously is trying to put on some strength and weight, which will come. But I like his football instinctiveness. I really do. Anthony, really that jumps out to me is his physicality. He has safety athleticism, but plays the game physical like a linebacker. I love how he plays the game and the physicality he brings to the table. I think he's going to be a guy that can roll down in the box and truly add to the box with a linebacker mentality with safety athleticism. Zamarian, I've been just ultra impressed with from day one. You saw some unbelievable things that he did in high school, but his maturity on how he prepares has been like a pro to me. Just the way he handles strength and conditioning workouts, how he has picked up the playbook, probably faster than any of the young guys, to be honest with you. I think he's got great football smarts. and I think has a really bright future here. And then Xavion, you could just tell Xavion's been in college football for a year, from his body to how he plays, the plays he's making. Reps and experience. You can't put a value on that. And so to have a year under your belt as a college football player, you could see that shine through. So we're very fortunate to have those four guys here. You add Chase to that mix of veteran leadership and play. You've got some good safeties back there. You really do.
Thank you.
Shotgun.
Hey, Clay, the defensive coaches have talked about the culture they're trying to foster. How do you feel that's different than the past, and how do you feel that's progressing so far?
Well, Shotgun, I'll say this: since the day T.O. stepped on campus, I thought there was a mentality and kind of an edge that he brought, as well as the defensive staff, whether it was Dante, Greg, Vic. There was an edginess to them, and something that, gosh, I really wish we had more time. Just being honest with you, last year, I wish he would have gotten the spring. I wish he would have gotten an entire summer with the guys. Instead, he got a little window right prior to us playing a season. Now having a full off season, where I've so appreciated our coaching staff, because they've been with our kids every step of the way. They've been at every winter, conditioning workout. They have lived in the hip of our kids and developed great relationships, but our kids are developing their mentality also. And T.O.'s obviously, he is the definition of toughness and discipline and being united as a group and bringing a group together. So it's not only has Bobby Steiner done a tremendous job of building us in the offseason, but our coaching staff, all three sides, all three phases, has done a nice job. And T.O. has, you could see the investment of being with the kids over the 8 weeks of winter conditioning. His mentality just rubs off on him. And there's an edginess right now to him. There really is, and a confidence about him. So I thought it started last year, Shotgun, to be honest with you. And now it's even progressed more through this spring.
When you're trying to build that physicality, there's always that balance with injury concerns. You had a couple of injuries already. Can you give us a little update on Josh Follow and some of the guys we saw kind of leave on Tuesday as well? And are there any plans to kind of dial anything back with some of the injuries you've already had?
No, our numbers are good right now, Shotgun. We're committed right now. Obviously things can change, but we get basically 8 tackling days by NCAA rule, and we're going to use all 8. One of the things that we have good numbers right now, and we want to take advantage of those days. We have 3 helmets days, 12 full pad days, and 8 of those days can be tackling, and we're going to take advantage of those days. It's going to help our football team. As far as some of the injuries that we've had, Josh had a bone bruise, nothing structurally damaging. Will take a week or so to be able to get that healed up. And once the discomfort is gone and he's medically cleared, he will be back. We'll see if that's prior to the end of camp. I'm hoping so. Is there anybody else you were thinking of, Shotgun?
Kobe Pepe, we saw him come out, and Liechtenstein as well, but I think Liechtenstein seemed kind of minor.
Yeah. Jake had just a twinge of his back, a back spasm that subsided. I expect him to go through the rest of spring. And Kobe has a shoulder issue that he's dealing with, and hopefully we'll be back soon. We're trying to rehab it and get him back as soon as possible.
Okay, we have time for one last one. We'll go to RJ Badia, is it? You got to help me on your pronunciation.
Yeah. You'll get there.
Go ahead. There you go. Go ahead.
Hey, Clay, I feel like when we ask coaches about discipline, the first thing they always say is penalties. And I'm just curious, setting penalties aside, what are some of the on-field examples of discipline that you're emphasizing in camp?
Yeah, when you talk about discipline, it starts with the effort of the ball game and the mental toughness of the ball game. To be honest with you, we always talk about the 4 to 6 seconds on tape of relentless effort. That to be able to show that the discipline to when we start something, whether it's a practice, whether it's a game, whether it's a drive, that we finish that drive from A to B. And then, the discipline of not just giving the effort that's there, but giving the extra effort that is needed to win championships. So you'll always hear us say 4 to 6, A to B +2. No, that's been used before at other places, but it's what we believe in, it's what we believe wins championships. Discipline is also what you talked about with penalties, and we made strides, last year, getting a little bit better, not good enough, nowhere near good enough. We're working right now on the discipline of our hands, to be honest with you, because when you look at our penalties last year, it was very handsy penalties as far as defensive holding in the backfield, especially on third downs, as well as offensive holdings, especially when the quarterback broke containment of the pocket and got outside the pocket. There's different levels of discipline, and for us, it's being consistent in what you do each and every day and doing the right thing each and every day with the absolute best effort that you can. For our guys, I've been really proud with them. It's been part of our culture. It's been part of who they are, is to be accountable to one another on a day-to-day basis and give their absolute best effort in everything they do. Whether it's in the moment, 4 to 6, whether it's starting a project and going all the way through from A to B, or giving the effort that represents the Trojan family. So I hope that answered your question. Appreciate it.
Okay, Clay, thanks for joining us. I know you got a meeting to get off to. We do have a practice open to the media today at 11:30. We'll see you out there. A reminder, our next presser will be on Tuesday at 8 a.m. We have Coach Jinks and a couple players. So with that, we wish you all a good day. And Clay, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. Take care. Have a great day. Bye, Don.